Call the meeting to order for our first budget hearing. Can I have a roll call, please?
Mayor Paul.
Here.
Vice Mayor Hatton.
Here.
Councilmember Whitman.
Here.
Councilmember Starkey.
Here.
Councilmember Lewis.
Here.
Mr. Lemack.
Here.
Mr. Lewis. Mr. Holsty. Mr. Weinthal. Mayor, you have a quorum.
Thank you very much, and I will turn the meeting over to Mr. Lemack, make a presentation.
Thank you, Mayor. Good afternoon. Richard Lemack, Town Administrator. To ensure compliance with Florida's truth in millage or trim statutes, we must first discuss the town's operating millage rate. For fiscal year 2026, the town proposes a millage rate of 5.6250 mils. The proposed operating millage rate is 6.87% greater than the rollback rate of 5.2633 and is a tax increase under state law. This operating millage rate is necessary to fund the operating budget of the town to achieve our business plan initiatives and to maintain our strong fiscal stability. The voted debt millage rate that covers debt service on our general obligation bonds is proposed to decrease from 0.1868 mils to 0.1725 mils. The general fund budget will increase $8.8 million or 4% in the fiscal year 2026. This increase is due in part to salary costs as obligated by our collective bargaining agreements and for non-representative employees, which is partially offset by a decrease in pension costs related to our 3 defined pension plans. Operating expenditures will increase 13% or $7 million. Some of the increases pertain to increasing debt service for the funding of the farm park, estimating budget impacts of a tentative new collective bargaining agreement with the Fraternal Order of Police, allocating contingency funding for parks, recreation, and cultural arts for the first time, and funding for an impact fee study and a variety of master plans. Other increasing operating expenditures include investing in information technology, fleet-related charges, insurance premiums, and contractual expenditures for our school speed cameras and red light camera program. The general fund will transfer approximately $9.5 million to the capital project fund to support 35 projects for the fiscal year 2026 capital improvement program. Lastly, the $739,000 from the general fund will be transferred to the vehicle maintenance fund to purchase additions to the town's fleet. On the revenue side, the general fund will experience revenue growth in ad valorem operating taxes, electric utility service taxes, EMS transport revenue, school speed zone violations, red light camera violations, police services for the Nova Southeastern contract, and contractual services with Southwest Ranches. Inflation appears to be a significant factor for our state-related revenue, which individually are either stagnant or have declined. This includes half-cent sales tax, state revenue sharing, and communication services tax. The town did not budget revenues related to the Seminole Compact revenue, the sharing, due to the uncertainty of the timing of the future revenue. Lastly, we budgeted the final $1 million in revenue to be received from the Community Redevelopment Agency related to the fiscal year 2022 $4 million loan. However, during fiscal year 25, another $4 million loan was made to the CRA, and the first payment to the town will be in fiscal year 2026. The CRA will be paying the town $2 million in fiscal year 2026. As you know, the town's adopted fund balance policy includes provisions for setting aside funding for unforeseen emergencies, such as hurricanes and pandemics, and we're pleased to report that we are in compliance with our general fund emergency reserve policy, and we remain fiscally healthy. The proposed fiscal year 2026 annual budget carries out the directions provided by Town Council at the Vision and Goal Setting session and public workshops held this past spring and summer. In a few minutes, Mr. Ackerman will review the town's business plan initiatives and go over some other fiscal year 2026 budget details. But we wanted to first share with you the town-wide budget outlook. Fiscal year 2026 incorporates the following factors and highlights. The town's and the CRA tax base continues to grow due to increased property values in new construction. As previously mentioned, the operating millage rate will remain unchanged at 5.6250 mils and has not increased in 8 straight years, while the voted debt millage rate will be reduced in fiscal year 2026. The voted debt millage rate reduction is due to new construction and higher property values. This will be the 12th consecutive year that the voted debt millage rate has decreased. The residential fire assessment remains unchanged, and as a reminder, the fire assessment revenues by law are solely expended on fire-related expenses. The stormwater assessment remains unchanged as it enters its second year of implementation. And as a reminder, stormwater assessment revenues by law are solely expended on stormwater management services and programs. The residential solid waste assessment will increase by 76 cents per month, or a total of $9.10 for the year. While the residential solid waste services contract includes a built-in consumer price index, or CPI, adjustment, the initially anticipated increase for fiscal year 2026 has been reduced. This reduction is possible because the town will be subsidizing a portion of the assessment. For the Public Safety Master Plan, the police and fire rescue departments to continue to move forward with the strategic plan initiatives. For fire, the focus is on health and safety, staffing, and service delivery. For police, the focus includes enhancing public safety, community engagement and communications, and employee recruitment and retention. The annual budget will provide nearly $24 million for 59 projects in fiscal year 2026 capital improvements program. The Water and Sewer Fund will appropriate $6.4 million of that amount for 21 projects to maintain our infrastructure. The General Fund will provide nearly $9.5 million for 35 projects. So with that said, I'm going to invite Mr. Ackerman to come up and take us through some more information. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council members. I am Bill Ackerman. I am Budget and Finance Director. Honored to be here tonight. I'm going to go over with you some of the important components of the fiscal year 2026 budget, and also kind of go along with you the process and how we got here. So during the vision and goal setting session back in March, staff presented business plan initiatives for fiscal year 2026. The initiatives were align service delivery with resources, economic development and quality of life balance, enhance community safety and wellness and resiliency, leverage technology to streamline business practices. So in doing that, Town Council agreed with staff and approved the business plan initiatives for fiscal year 2026. Now we're going to cover those initiatives. We are going to start with aligned service delivery with resources. Back at the vision and goal setting session, Town Council, you set the priorities for fiscal year 2026. We met with Mr. Lemack and staff. You set the priorities. Now it's Mr. Lemack's job to go ahead and move forward in putting those priorities in motion. So in doing so, we have to make sure we have a balanced budget. We just can't go in and just do everything. We have to make sure in doing so, we have to be responsible. In doing so, we also take a look at the revenue sources. Sometimes, as we know, we don't use one-time revenue sources to fund ongoing operations, but in situations of your priorities, there may be some priorities that we can use one-time revenue sources for them. Also, during the vision and goal setting session, Council gave direction on certain capital projects to move forward with. So that is incorporated within the capital improvement program. And as we're doing so, going through the CIP, we also have to find funding sources in order to be able to move forward with that. And as we're doing all of that, we of course want to make sure that we maintain our emergency reserves. And as Mr. Lemack noted earlier on, we have maintained those emergency reserves. So first, we're going to start with the business plan initiative of economic development and quality of life balance. So the town will undertake two significant initiatives related to this for fiscal year 2026. First is the Davie 10 initiative. Through the Davie 10 initiative, the town will highlight Davie's 10 major economic engines, also its proximity to 10 major transit ports, as well as our location. We touch 10 different municipalities. So as part of this new initiative, the town will rebrand the Regional Activity Center, the RAC, and which is located between roughly University Drive and the Turnpike. The RAC will be rebranded to the RIGHT Zone, Research, Institution, Technology, and the Education Zone. It will emphasize the institutional presence of the South Florida Education Center. Also, we're going to rebrand the TOC, the Transit-Oriented Corridor, and that's between the Florida Turnpike and State Road 7. It's going to be rebranded to the RISE Zone, Residential, Industrial, Social, and Export Zone. The new name will emphasize the area's proximity to ports and its industrial character. It also will introduce the concept of this zone being a social gathering place to complement the ground floor commercial use. In staying with this business plan initiative, we know how important town parks are, as it's a key factor to attracting families to the town of Davie. In fiscal year 2026, we are going to commence on master planning for 4 key town facilities. We're going to be looking at master planning the Potters Park, or PAL, the Old Davie School Museum and Event Center, Bergeron Rodeo Grounds, and the Pine Island Park Bamford Sports Complex, which is where we are today. These master plans are pivotal to the continued provision of exceptional programs and services unique to the Davie community. Each plan will be guided by our community values and input from stakeholders and residents, ensuring that we meet and exceed our residents' needs today and for future generations. The next business plan initiative we're going to cover is enhanced community safety, wellness, and resiliency. We're going to cover stormwater or drainage type of projects. Right now, we have drainage improvement projects underway. We have first the Shenandoah Stormwater Master Pump Station. That's currently in permitting. We have the Oak Hill Community. That's broken into 2 different halves, so 4 different phases. We have phase 1 and 2 on the west half, and we have phases 3 and 4 on the east half. Currently, the west half is in permitting right now, while the east half, phases 3 and 4, is at 30% drainage drawings. We also have the New River Estate drainage improvements, and that's getting ready to be advertised for construction, and that's also awaiting EPA approval. We also have the Southwest 50th Avenue and Oaks Road, which is 60% drainage drawings. And also, just as a side note, to date, we have cleaned over 2,400 catch basins throughout the town. Next, and staying with drainage type of information, we have some drainage studies that we're working on that are localized. They are at Park City Estates, Royal Palm Estates, Driftwood Estates, and for Griffin and Orange Drive. Currently, these are all at various different points at their stage of their study, and they are expected to be completed within a few more months. Lastly, for business plan initiatives, we have leverage technology to streamline business practices. As we know, the public, or whether it's our vendors, our customers, our residents, they want to find an easier way to do business with the town of Davie. We want to meet those needs and make it as easy as possible for them. They want better flexibility. They want better timing for them. They don't want to be coming to town hall if they don't have to. So in working with the Information Technology Department, they took the initiative and they created the one-stop shop online payment portal. What they did was they met with every department and division within the town who provided some type of services. And the reason why they met with everybody is because the more volume we have, the better rates we can get for the processing rate. It'll be cheaper. So they went ahead and did that, and we were able to get a reasonable processing rate. Secondly, they had to make sure they found a solution that would integrate with our website, which is important as well. We have replaced all of our counter card terminals, so they've all been replaced. Business tax receipts renewal process, that took place a couple of months ago, and we actually sent out over nearly 3,800 renewals were mailed out this year. And when they receive those renewals, they'll have many of options on how they can pay the town, especially through the one-stop Shop online payment portal. And lastly, we were able to do this at a no-cost first-year implementation. Next, we're going to cover key dates in the fiscal year 2026 budget process. So for people that may not be here as we go through the process, it is a process that basically begins back in December. And it goes, obviously, through the rest of the year. So early in the process, one of the key things we take a look at is payroll. Payroll in the general fund is important because it covers about 58% of the total budget in the general fund. Townwide, it makes up about 36% of the total budget. So if we start the payroll process early and we get everything in that we can. Then comes February, March, and April, where we have a lot of things going on. First, starting in February, the town administration, human resources, and budget of finance, we meet with each department and division, cover a little of the current year's budget, and then also focus mostly on the upcoming budget. At March 10th, we had our budget, and we also had our capital improvement program kickoff meetings to get the ball rolling. March 11th, we had our vision and goal setting session with town council. Come April 3rd, everybody's budget, all departments and divisions, their budget was due to us to start our process for us reviewing everything. Come March and April, we had our employee budget sessions. We had 2 of those. And we also had 4 townwide community forums. The employee budget sessions and the townwide community forums are very important to us because it gives us a chance to solicit feedback from our residents, from our employees. Some of the things that we covered during those meetings is that we covered the budget outlook. We covered needed master plans that we needed to have. We discussed funding for the farm park at Governor Leroy Collins Park. We also covered our 100th year anniversary celebration. We also talked about the possibility of issuing bonds, among several other items that we discussed. But again, the important thing was it gives us a chance to solicit feedback from our residents, from our employees, so we get back and forth information between us and them. Going along with key dates for the fiscal year 2026 budget process, comes June 3rd, we had our first budget workshop with town council. During that first budget workshop, we focused on the general fund. That's our primary operating fund. We went over the significant increases or decreases that we had from fiscal year 2025 to fiscal year 2026. Then, July 23rd, we had our second budget workshop. And that second budget workshop also focused a bit on the general fund, where we went over the significant changes we had from the first workshop to the second workshop. We also covered the utilities fund, and we also covered the Community Redevelopment Agency Fund, or the CRA. After the second budget workshop, we had the capital improvement program workshop as well, where we went over a lot of the key capital items for next fiscal year. Then comes September, today, September 3rd, 2025. We have our first public hearing, and the tentative budget will be adopted. Tonight on the council meeting agenda, the capital improvement program will be on there to be adopted as well. September 15th, we will have our fire assessment, solid waste assessment, and stormwater public hearings. And then followed by September 17th, 2 weeks from today, we will have our second public hearing in which the fiscal year 2026 budget will be adopted. So again, the general fund, which is our primary operating fund, we do want to review some of the significant items that changed since the second budget workshop. So as mentioned in previous budget workshops, and mentioned even earlier today, payroll is critical for us. So anytime we have any change in payroll, a promotion, benefit changes, separations, new hires, general ledger distributions, anything that might change, we want to keep on top of that and make next year's budget as close as possible to actual. So in doing so, we decreased the budget by approximately $112,000. We also have a deferred retirement option plan. The police department has a specific one which allows front loading. After what took place between the second workshop and now, we were actually able to reduce that by $366,000. Also, we put in a non-rep COLA, which increased the budget by approximately $640,000. Information technology internal charges, we had some updates there for $114,000. And also, we have a feasibility space study for the public safety building, which we put into the budget for approximately $200,000. Staying with the general fund, as noted at the CIP workshop, and also information that has been distributed since that workshop, we will be utilizing general fund reserves for a fire rescue ladder for approximately $2 million. Also, based on that information, we trued up the CIP with an increase of approximately $2.5 million. And lastly, we did take out $700,000 worth of stormwater design projects because we already had that covered elsewhere. The next 4 slides are going to be the same 4 slides we basically have looked at over the workshops and over our vision and goal setting session, because right now, nothing has changed. When we do this again next year at the vision and goal setting session, we'll have new information, because right now we're in September, and this is the month where all the municipalities will be updating their millage rates. They'll be updating their any of their assessments, fire assessment, stormwater assessment, and so forth. So right now, we can't update this until everybody's finished with their budget process, like we're doing today. So we'll have updated information in the future. So again, nothing has changed from the last time since we went ahead and reviewed this slide. As noted again, as a reminder, back in fiscal year 2021, Council, you approved a long-term residency low-income senior exemption for, which is in addition already to the $25,000 low-income senior exemption that the town still also has, that we still offer. And again, as you're going through the slides, you'll see the town of Davie. We're consistently on the right side, middle, bottom half of it. So same thing with the residential fire assessment. As a reminder for this as well, based on council's direction a year ago, we now exempt fully disabled veterans from the fire assessment, and that started for fiscal year 2025. Again, we're on the right side towards the middle bottom. For the residential stormwater assessment fee rates, we made no change to that. We're still at $60. And the reason why we have to add fee rates into the title here is because some municipalities don't use the property appraiser's mailing system to send out their notices. They may use their water bill, they may use the garbage bill to do it as well. And lastly, you can see where we are with the solid waste assessment. Again, on the bottom side, on the right side, towards the middle bottom. So let's get down to business here. How is this going to impact our homeowners? How is this going to impact the homeowner? Well, how we start this is that we take a look at an assessed value home of $450,000. We then reduce that by $50,000 for homestead, and as you can see on your screen, we're starting with a $400,000 taxable value home in Davie. And what we're going over here is strictly related to the town of Davie portion. This is not related to anything else related on the property tax bill. So if you take a look at each line, we'll start with the ad valorem line. You can see that there's an increase to the resident for $73.41 or $6.12 on a monthly basis. This is increase. We did not change our millage rate, which we know. The reason for this increase is if you look at the very, very bottom of the screen, you'll see for fiscal year 2026, 2.9% increase in assessed value by the property appraiser's office. So that's the reason for the increase, and we'll cover that again shortly. Debt service, you can see we had a decrease of $3.47 for the year. Solid waste assessment, we had an increase, as Mr. Lemak noted earlier on, of $9.10 or 76 cents per month. And for the fire assessment and stormwater assessment, we have no change on that. So the increase is due to 2 primary reasons, the ad valorem and the solid waste assessment. So of the ad valorem, it increased $73.41. That's approximately 93% of the $79.04 increase. So if it wasn't for the property appraiser's office, you would actually see a $5.64 increase for the town, or 47 cents per month would be the increase. But again, we don't control the 2.9% increase by the property appraiser's office. So what do we have coming up next? We have on September 15th, it's a Monday at noon, special assessments hearing will take place. Then 2 weeks from tonight, same time, same place at 5:15 p.m., we'll have our second budget hearing. And Mayor, at this point, I will turn the meeting back over to you. Thank you.
Before I proceed, is there any questions? Okay. All right, we're going to take a look. This is a public hearing. We'll look at number 1. This is an ordinance, first reading, with the second and final reading to be held on September 17th. Mr. Weinthal, would you read the ordinance by title, please?
Mayor. An ordinance of the town of Davie, Florida, establishing the millage rates to be levied for the fiscal year beginning October 1, 2025, and ending September 30, 2026, providing for severability, providing for conflicts, and providing for an effective date.
Thank you. And by law, I must read this. The town of Davie's tentative operating millage rate to be levied for fiscal year 2026 is 5.6250 mils, which is 6.87% greater than the rolled back rate of 5.2633 mils. The tentative voting debt service millage rate for fiscal year 2026 is .1725 mils. If there is any member in the public that wishes to speak for or against this, you can come forward at this time. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Again, any questions, discussion? May I have a motion to approve in a second?
Motion to approve
The millage rate.
the millage
Would you
rate,
read-
sorry.
Thank you. Roll call.
Councilmember Lewis.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Hatton.
Yes.
Councilmember Starkey.
Yes.
Councilmember Whitman.
Yes.
Mayor Paul.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Number 2 is the budget ordinance. Mr. Weinthal, would you read the ordinance by title?
Yes, Mayor. An ordinance for the town of Davie, Florida, adopting the budget for the fiscal year beginning October 1, 2025, and ending September 30, 2026, providing for severability, providing for conflicts, and providing for an effective date.
Okay. A second public hearing will be held on September 17th at 5:15 PM in this chamber. Is there any member of the public who wishes to speak for or against this at this time? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Or any discussion, questions from town council?
No.
May I have a motion to approve the budget and a second?
Motion to approve the budget. Second.
Roll call?
Mayor Paul.
Yes.
Councilmember Whitman.
Yes.
Councilmember Starkey.
Yes.
Councilmember Lewis.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Hatton.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. This closes the public portion of the meeting. The next special meeting is a special assessments hearing on Monday, September 15th at 12 p.m. Before I adjourn, I just want to thank again Mr. Lemack, Mr. Ackerman, and all of the individuals that work so hard on this. Again, it's just always amazes me, the amount of time and effort that's put in this, and when you present it, it just seems so easy, and it just flows, but for everybody that knows how much work and effort goes into something like this, so we certainly appreciate your time and your effort, and it makes it a lot easier for us, so thank you very much. If there's no objections, we're adjourned.